Hey guys, so it's been about a year and a half since I did the last modifications video. There's been a few changes since then, so let's get into it. Alright, so I figured we'd start off this video kind of talking about the modifications that I've already done to the truck, what I think about them. Then we'll move into the new stuff that I've added to the truck, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what I plan to do to the truck in the future. So let's get started. Alright, so I figured we'd talk about the tires a little bit, kind of what I did up here. So we still got the AEV rims, the Falcon Wild Peak mud terrains, 35-inch, and then the AEV, the whole fender flare kit. So nothing's changed about that. These tires, if you can see the tread here, they're about to be done. We're getting pretty close here. So I'm looking at getting new tires here at the end of the summer. And what I'm thinking as far as tires go is I want to do, instead of mud terrains, I want to do some RTs. I just think they're going to last longer. They do better in the ice, a lot more traction in like ice or packed snow, which is a problem with these mud terrains. They just don't really do well on ice or any kind of like packed down snow. You can see these slits here. They're not very prominent at all, and if you look at any kind of all-terrain tire, the slits are a lot more prominent. And essentially what those do is when the tire is on the ground, those slits kind of open up and they're like little grabbers and they grip onto ice and pack down snow. And so that stuff's really important, especially out here on the trails and in Colorado in general. So I really think that's what I'm going to go with. Plus, I've only had these tires for literally a year. I put about probably 30,000 miles on them and they're already almost done. And that's just kind of the issue with mud terrains, is that they're just a soft tire, so you're not really gonna get a lot of life out of them. The all-terrains are a lot more durable tire, and you're gonna get probably 60,000, 70,000 miles out of them. Honestly, the all-terrains that the truck came with, I think they were dirt tracks, honestly I can't remember. They were great tires. I had like 45,000 miles on them when I sold them, and they probably had about 30,000 miles left in tread. So we'll call it 75,000 miles total compared to these mud terrains that really only lasted about 30,000 miles. So not very good. Practically, they're just not worth it for me. The one thing I do like about the mud terrains that I don't like about the all-terrains is that really aggressive look. And so I do believe that you can have, like, function and form can go together. That's kind of like art, right? You can have something that functions really well but also looks really good. And so I think I'm going to be able to find that kind of middle ground in the RT tire. I don't really know what I want to do yet, which kind of tire. I'm going to do a little bit of research, but if you have any suggestions, just let me know in the comments. Alright, so I did mention I did have the 1-inch leveling kit that did come with new Chevy performance control arms. You can kind of see them under there a little bit. So it is leveled up 1 inch, and that's to allow for more room in the front when you're turning the tires, so you don't have as much rubbing. But no changes there. We do have the Lasfit Lights. Okay, these are their ditch lights. And one thing I want you to notice is, so I've had these for a year now, okay? A little over a year and a half. I barely clean these, I don't wash them, I don't do anything to them, I don't take care of them. And they look amazing, right? Look at the style, okay? Like I said, form and function, right? They perform just as well as any other light you can imagine out there. But even after a year and a half of sitting in the sun all day, I don't park my truck in the garage, by the way. They just sit in the sun all day long. Then they get covered in snow and salt from the road, and just the coating on here really lasts. I mean, that thing looks, I haven't washed my truck either. I mean, the truck's dirty. You can see bugs on there. I haven't washed these, but you can just see how good they look with almost no care or maintenance. So after a year and a half, that's one of the big things that I've noticed. And I've seen other people's trucks where they buy cheaper ditch lights, and the lights just don't look very good anymore. After about 6 months, a year of use, they just don't look that good anymore. So that's one thing I wanted to highlight about those Lasfit lights. You can't really see them in there, obviously, but I also have Lasfit LED bulbs. And I have a discount for you guys in the description if you guys want to look into that stuff. They're a little on the pricier end as far as ditch lights go. You can go and get cheaper stuff like at some of your tool shops and whatnot, but if you want a good light, I would probably go with this if you like it. Now let's talk a little bit about the CBI bed rack, bed bars. These I've had for 2 years now, no complaints at all. I mean, these things are amazing. Well, I do have a few complaints, don't get me wrong. But they've served me really well over the last 2 years. And you can see same thing with the Lasfit lighting, this coating that they have on here. I mean, it just lasts. I don't wash, I don't clean it. It just doesn't hold on to dirt or mud very well. It just looks good all the time. There's no rust, there's no weird stains or sun doing damage to it or salt stains or whatever you might think of. They just last. Not only do they last, but they're super easy to install. I have a video of me discussing these in detail specifically, but they're super easy to install. So if you're, thinking about getting into off-roading or getting a rooftop tent or overlanding or whatever, and you don't know if it's something you're gonna like or that you're gonna be able to do that much, and you don't want to spend a bunch of money, I would buy something like that because it's super cheap. It's one of the cheapest bed racks out there that you can buy. Usually the good ones go from like $1,000, okay, and then up from there. But $450 for just back 2 years ago when I bought it, it was $450. I'm not sure what it is now. It might be $500, $550 with all the inflation, but just something that's going to work for you really well. Now let's talk a little bit about what I don't like about them. So something I don't like about is this angle. I wish it would go straight up, and I know they make bars that go straight up, I know, okay, but that's something I don't like about this. The reason I don't like that is because when it's straight up, it actually makes it easier to attach items to here, and that it creates an issue because now, like, I can't fit my what do you call them? My traction boards under here. I can't fit my traction boards. They just don't fit in between here and here. I can only fit maybe a few kind of tools. Like I wouldn't be able to fit gas cans or any of that stuff there. So I'm very limited on what I can attach to the side, which is kind of a problem for me. And then another thing, I'm kind of torn between it, but I like the low profile. Like I like that it doesn't go up above my roof here. It gives me a lower center of gravity, better aerodynamics. However, when I'm trying to put stuff in the truck bed, that limits like how big things I can put in there. So I use the truck more for just camping and stuff. I put furniture in there, I'm hauling stuff, and now I have less space to fit things in here. You've seen my videos where I'm in here, I'm crawling around, I got all my boxes and stuff in there, so I'm basically crawling around. I don't have much space to stand up. I'm bumping my head on the rack. It's just not very high up. So it kind of causes issues in that aspect. But I do like the low profile. So you can't have both. It's just something I'm gonna have to think about a little more. Honestly, I'm probably leaning towards getting a new bed rack that goes straight up and that is in line with the roof here. That's probably what I'm gonna end up doing. But I'll keep you guys updated. Also, I think the last part, really the last modification I had originally was this bed cover. This is the Tuxedo Low Pro, so you can see it right there. See if it'll do it. There it is, Tuxedo Low Pro cover. This thing is nice, super convenient. It's not completely watertight, but all I really want is my stuff to stay mostly dry. And then I don't want the dust all over my gear. I can't stand having dust all over my boxes and all over my stuff. It just gets everywhere and I can't stand it. So, really happy with that. I probably won't be changing it anytime soon. And then I also have a bike rack here. This is the Thule, I think it's like the Thule 2X2. Honestly, I can't remember. But this thing's nice for mountain biking and whatnot. It's in some of my videos. But let's move on to the new stuff. All right, as you'll notice, you've probably already seen it, I have the iKamper. This is the Sky Camp Mini 2.0. And as I've mentioned before, I got the 2.0 because I went on the site. They came out with the 3.0 about a year ago-ish. And then they were selling the 2.0s at a discounted price, trying to get rid of them. So I was like, all right, well, I don't need the 3.0. Could care less about that. I'll just get this one. And I did it. And this thing is amazing. The setup time on this is like 15-20 seconds. It just changes the whole rooftop tent camping game. The setup time, ease of use, I'm not climbing all over the truck, I'm not on top of the tent, I don't have to do all this weird stuff just to open up the tent. And I think if you're gonna spend money on a rooftop tent, they're expensive no matter what. Just get something that's convenient. Otherwise you might as well just buy a ground tent, because the point of a rooftop tent is convenience and comfort. So I've been able to fit, I can only fit one pillow in here actually, and then my little rumple blanket stays in there consistently. And it's about to rain, so I might have to take a break here. Alright, so after the tent, and I know I've been talking about this for a while, sorry it's raining, but I need to get, I can't just sit inside my truck and wait for it to stop raining. So anyways, for a year and a half, like ever since I got the AEV fenders and the bigger wheels, I had the gears on order, the 4.56 gears from Nitro. And it took a year and a half for those things to come in. I don't really want to get into it, but it's just been a terrible experience, the whole thing. And so they finally came in, year and a half later. I got them installed at Tanner 4-wheel drive in Colorado Springs. They did a great job. I went through the break-in period, and that's why you're going to see like a few of my next videos are just camping videos, because you're not supposed to do any serious off-roading for like 500 miles while you're doing the break-in. You don't want to do any long trips, like you got to do 20-mile intervals and all that. So there's all this break-in stuff, then you got to change the oil out of the differentials. So that's all done now. And so we're actually hitting up Mosquito Pass this weekend, so look out for that video. But it's just been night and day difference. Night and day difference with the new gearing. I also did the Trifecta tune. Trifecta tune's been amazing. Their customer support is amazing. You send them an email. I mean, I sent them an email a year and a half later. I was like, hey, finally got my stuff. I need you to set up for this, this, and this. They got it done in a day, and then it was it. You just log into their site. They have the little whatever tune you're looking for, you just download it real quick, and then you put it, or you install it inside your truck through the little cable, and they supply the cable. So it's been great. The performance is amazing. It feels like better than it was back when I had it stock with 31s, and it used to be super sluggish and slow with the 35s and the original gears. So it was a huge deal. I'm super excited. It's super rainy. It's just terrible timing. Drove all the way out here to shoot this video, and then it just rains the whole time. And this actually happened last time I did this too. I had to sit in my truck for an hour waiting for it to stop raining. So I'm done waiting for the rain to stop. I'm just gonna keep filming while it's raining. So there's that. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what I want to do for the future. So there's really only a few big things, and I already mentioned one of them before, is getting a new bed rack. Something that's a little taller, something that makes it a little easier for me to like hook stuff up to the side, like any kind of tools or gas tanks or whatever that might be. So that's one of the next things. And then the second thing is going to be a new rear bumper. But I'm gonna get a new bumper, and I want it to be like a swing arm bumper. And the big reason for the bumper is I want to be able to put a full-size spare on the back of my truck. Right now, I don't have a full-size spare. I only have the 31-inch spare underneath, and that's all that's gonna be able to fit under there. So if I want the 35-inch spare, I'm gonna have to do a bumper, and I want it to be a swing arm so that I can just open it up, get to my stuff, close it up. That's just the way it's gonna have to be. So we'll see how that goes. If you guys have any suggestions for that, let me know. I'll have to do some research on my own, figure out what I want to do. I know it's a little expensive, between like $1,000, $1,500 is last time I looked how much that stuff costs. Maybe I'm way off, I don't remember. But that's kind of really what I want to do. If you guys want to see me do anything to the truck, or if you've done anything to your guys' trucks that you think is notable or worthy of mentioning, maybe that I should try it out, let me know. If you got a better bed rack, let me know. If you have a different type of cover, let me know what you think about it, specifically for ZR2s. I mean, I'll take your opinions even if you got a different type of truck, but obviously like a lot of stuff, they don't make it for every type of truck. And so just because it works on a Tacoma or a Jeep doesn't necessarily mean it'll work on my truck. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a comment, like the video, all that stuff. It helps the algorithm. Subscribe. I really appreciate it. And then also, you know, if you hate my videos and you think I suck at this stuff, then just don't subscribe. Or tell me how much I suck in the comments. Alright.